Hello everybody, I'm so sorry about the horrible lighting. It is 8 p.m. at night and I'm starting a vlog right now. Welcome to week 4 of Nano or Novnov or whatever the heck you want to call it. Okay, it's 8 p.m. I have not written anything today. I'm so sorry about whatever this is that is going on right now, this vibe. Hi, nice to meet you. I'm so sorry. I'm gonna try to write maybe. My last vlog I actually did a decent intro, I think, sort of. Anyway, this year I'm working on draft 2 of my young adult fantasy novel, Project Assassin. I just hit 100,000 words in the draft. I'm working on the All Is Lost, Dark Night of the Soul part right now, so I'm about to move into the finale. Anyway, that's where I am right now at the moment. And my arm hurts so bad, so I'll update you later. Good morning, everybody. Sorry I didn't do much by way of an update last night. I was just so tired. I'm actually not tired today, which is good. I feel like I've been tired a lot the last few days. So yesterday I met my word count goal for the day. I exceeded it by just a little, so I brought it down from about 2,300 to 2,200 required. Not very impressive. I would like to really put a lot more towards, see if I could get 3,000 words one of these days. I've done several thousand days before. It's just been a while since I've done something like that. Last week I spent so much time restructuring, re-outlining, because as I was moving into the end of Act 2B, I realized there were things that just didn't work. So last week I was spending a lot of time restructuring that. But now what I've been writing these last couple of days is already undoing whatever restructuring I did, and it's not reverting it back to the other thing. It's a secret third thing. Outlining is just kind of a big no-no for me because I'm always going to break whatever outline I try to put in place. I think the outlining is probably better once I write something and then try to tweak it thereafter. If I try to outline something and then write to that outline, I feel like it doesn't tend to work. But it's not my fault. The characters do what they do. And I put it on the page, but I'm just describing what they're doing, you know? So I was doing a little bit this morning, writing in my notebook, not outlining, but really understanding what each character's motivation and perspective is at the moment, because there's coming to be, with these new people, there's just you find out people have been keeping secrets and blah 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 blah. So trying to keep all of those straight in my head, I'm taking it out of my head and putting it down on the notebook paper, which I think is helpful. And I think that's probably a lot more beneficial. I just need to understand these characters, what they're thinking, what they're feeling, and then communicate that, really. But it's so interesting because in the beginning of November, I had no idea that I was going to be where I am now. The story has already changed so much, which today I should be finishing up the Dark Night of the Soul, and I should be moving into the Break into 3. The Break into 3 is the same as what I had figured since the beginning of working on draft 2, so that's good, but the finale looks completely different. And actually this is a very good thing because the finale, it never felt quite right. And I'm realizing now it's because it wasn't right. I've considered myself like a plantser, a little bit of both, but at least with this draft of this story, I've been needing to shuck that as much as I can. I'm sorry, in the intro, I was so tired I didn't really explain very well. So last week I did hit 100,000 for draft 2 of Project Assassin, but I only just now hit 30,000 in November for the challenge yesterday, I believe. And I'm supposed to be further than that. I'm 5,000 words behind if I had been on track the whole time. But given that I'm writing mostly on track, the 2,300 words a day, I am on track, but it's the Sunday before Thanksgiving. We're gonna have to see. I'm gonna try to push extra hard early this week, today and the next day or two, before I have to leave on Wednesday and be out of town until Sunday. Hi guys. You know how I just said in the last clip that outlining is not a good idea for somebody like me who changes things constantly and never can stick to an outline no matter how hard she tries? Well, I just spent the last few hours outlining. Well, actually a couple of hours earlier, and then now I've been playing Tiny Bookshop. I still can't bring myself to go right just yet, so I'm going to Hey, it's the weekend, okay? I'm going to take a moment to go watch an episode of Freaks and Geeks. If you saw the last video I put out, I was talking about it then. I think I finished episode 6 yesterday. There's only 18 episodes of the whole show because it got canceled. I'm gonna go watch that and then maybe I can force myself to write thereafter. Good morning, everybody. I don't know why I decided at 2 a.m. that the next day was gonna be the day that I like get my stuff together. I was like, I'm gonna wake up tomorrow and I'm gonna like do my makeup, which obviously I haven't done. I made a list last night of all these things that I've been putting off that I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do this. I decided at 2 a.m. when I know that I'm supposed to get up by 8. So I got up by 8, but then I went back to bed like a loser, a bum. And so now it's 10:45 and I'm getting started on doing stuff. Yesterday I did meet my word count goal. It took me forever, however. I feel like typically I've been working for at least 2 hours a day. Sometimes it veers towards 3 hours. I just do it in 25-minute sprints. Last night I did close to my 2 hours. Well, I did like an hour and a half, and then I got a phone call, and then I was like, well, actually I was disrupted during the 4th sprint, but that's totally fine. At the end of the 2 hours, when I ordinarily would have met my word count goal, I was only about 3/4 of the way there. However many words that is, a quarter of 2,200-ish words left. There's probably, honestly, a little more than that. Sorry, I don't know how long that was cut out. I did about the 2 hours. I did not meet my word count in the time that I ordinarily would have. So I was like, well, I'm going to do sprints until I reach my word count for the day. And I ended up doing sprints for, I think, probably up to like 2 hours more to get a quarter of 2,200 words. So whatever that is, 1,100, 550, 550-ish words. That's not as bad as the other day when I worked for an hour and a half and got like 300 words. The problem is I was working on a chapter that I was technically revising, but it was like so, I talked about this in the last vlog. Instead of actually cutting out old stuff, I'm striking through it so it doesn't bring my old word count down or bring my total word count down. But the stuff I would be cutting, stuff that's already in the draft, so it actually is not related to what I've been writing this month, which is why I'm not cutting it because anyway, it's kind of hard to explain. But this chapter needed heavy revising, heavy rewriting even, and it took me forever. I did it eventually. I got through the chapter finally, and then I started on the next chapter, the next scene and everything, and that's when I actually met my word count. But then I finished and then I went to go watch my Freaks and Geeks. And then after I finished watching my show, I was like, oh my goodness, this is crap. My story has gone to crap. This finale that I'm moving into, crap. It's horrible. This is stupid. It's unbelievable. It's blah, 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 blah. And then I started spiraling and freaking out. At this point, well, I've just been not doing anything all morning. And I haven't really been thinking about it because I was thinking about it last night and then I was freaking out about it a little bit. Because the finale is so different in the second draft from how it was in the first draft. I'm worried that in the third draft it's going to be something completely different again. I'm happier with everything that's happened in Act 2B, which the whole thing that I've been writing in Act 2B was not mostly written for the first draft. That's at least a marked improvement. So if the finale is crap, then at least Act 2B is written and I'm okay with it. I'm scared. I'm scared that what I'm doing is just not good. I think I just need to power through because I keep taking the time to reassess, re-outline, and every time I do that, I change whatever happens. I'm gonna stop spending so much time on that. It's not wasted time because it is helping me understand things better. But at this point, I think writing is just the better use of my time, getting the words in. Because I kind of do want to try to hit the 50,000. I think I said in the last vlog that I wasn't going to be able to, but I kind of want to. I kind of want to and I kind of want to try. I'm a little bit relying on the fact that when I write, things tend to sometimes work out. I don't know. I'm not going in completely blind. Like I know I have an idea of what I'm moving towards now, but once I start writing, it very well may change. And I have all like a list of other things that decided I was going to do last night at 2 in the morning that I was going to do today. I don't know if I'm going to get to those. I'm going to see how it falls. Well, this is what we're working with right now. I should hit 35,000 words today, which will be 70%. It is, of course, less than the projected, but at the rate I'm going, if I could maintain it, then I can hit the goal. I am on track to do that. But since I'm going to be traveling, I don't know what that's going to look like. I'm going to try to write as much as I can today because tomorrow my dad's coming into town, and then that's Tuesday, and then on Wednesday we're all going to go down to family home, which I guess that'll end out November. Oh my gosh, I didn't even realize that. Okay, well, we're gonna see how this goes. Good morning, everybody. I'm glad to report of the 2,200 words I was supposed to write yesterday, I wrote 3,200, which is good. I've been writing consistently a little bit over my required word count every day, but just by like 100 words. So to be 1,000 words over is great. Of course, I hoped to do more than that, but I got what I got done, and I'm glad with that. And I still am a little bit like, it might be crap, but I don't know. I'm feeling not as much like that. I am feeling like don't really know where this finale is going, which is kind of, I think, weird to say because I think a lot of people when they write a story, they have a good idea for the beginning, they have a really good idea for the end, and the middle is what's hard. For me, it's the opposite. The middle is the easy part. The beginning is hard in terms of figuring out balancing exposition and everything and putting in enough that the reader knows what's going on, but not too much to overwhelm them. Same with the characters, how much to introduce them, especially with so many different POVs with the ensemble cast. The beginning is hard and the end is really hard because this is what the whole book is building up to. And it's like, so for me, that's the hard part. I keep talking about this, about the it feels more severe than it's been before. Like, I've always strayed from outlines a little bit, but this is, it's kind of ridiculous at this point. I mean, I'm like re-outlining every day. What a great time to be doing that when you're trying to get 50,000 words done in a month. I'm going to be traveling tomorrow, and I'm going to be busy today because since I'm going to be traveling tomorrow, anything that I need to cook to bring for Thanksgiving, I'm actually doing 2 days early. Dinner rolls, I'm making bread from scratch for stuffing. Oh, an apple pie, but I actually might make the apple pie tomorrow. So I didn't check what my word count goal is for today. I think it's 2,000. I think I brought it down from like 2,200 to 2,000. My dad is coming today. Hopefully I can get some writing done before he gets here because once he gets here, I don't know. The finale thing, my confusion about it is that it seems a little bit haphazard because with the all is lost, they're kind of flung into a new situation. And so they're kind of reeling from that. And I was trying to keep the reeling designated to like the Dark Night of the Soul kind of section, but it's kind of bleeding into the finale. It kind of feels like another fun and games section, the reacting to a new world, because the way I tend to think of it, or I've heard said about stories, is like the first half is the characters reacting to whatever's going on, and then the second half is where they're proactive. They're leading, they're guiding the story more so, because initially you have the catalyst or the call to adventure, and then in the break into two, or whatever you might call it, you have them accepting this new development in their lives, and then it's just the reaction thereafter until there's some sort of switch generally, and then they become proactive, blah, blah, blah. If you're familiar with Save the Cat, you might be familiar with that, but that also, I don't think the Save the Cat talks so much about the reactive versus proactive so much as the A story and the B story being like the thematic current through the novel. Anyways, so it's kind of weird that now the finale is kind of acting as like a fun and games section. I don't really need it to be doing that. I need it to be what the whole book is culminating to, you know? I don't know. I don't know if that makes sense. And I don't know if anyone else confronts that. I feel like other people are way more, the ending is like what everyone is so excited to write. But for me, the ending is when I give up on a project because it's just like too much. It's interesting because when I started draft 2 and what I planned for the All is Lost beat to be, I've taken the All is Lost beat, and what happens in that still happens, but I'm actually moving it into the finale, which is like kind of at the high tower surprise, which is like the middle beat in the finale. When I say all of this, it sounds like I adhere like really strictly to the Save the Cat, Writes a Novel, beat sheet whole thing. I wouldn't say I do. I definitely keep it as a guideline, but I'm not super stressed out about sticking to it. If I were going to need something to stick to, it's probably something that indicates what to do in the finale, because I could never wrap my mind around what a finale is really supposed to be. Like the finale for the first draft of this novel, very, very short, didn't really make sense. And I'm afraid that I'm kind of replicating that, even though the events are totally different. I can't work on it right now. I need to go bake. It's hard because I'm actually getting excited because I think I might be able to complete the 50,000 words in November. I kind of wrote it off earlier in the month, but I've been plugging away at it. I'm on track to actually complete it. I don't want to get too excited about it, because if I don't do it, which is a good chance since I'm going to be out of town, I know it might throw me off and then I just don't get any writing done, and I don't want to be so disappointed if I can't win Nano. But anyway, oh my gosh, 10 minutes. Okay, I gotta go. Bye.
Percy. The next morning, Percy, Hazel, and Frank ate breakfast early, then headed into the city before the Senate was due to convene.
Good morning, everybody. It is November 30th. I am still visiting my parents. I'm leaving today. Okay, I told you I had a 3,000 word day. Then I had a 1,400 word day on the 25th. I think that's the day before I left. 1,400 words. I assure you I needed far more than that. And then I didn't write on the 26th, which was a traveling day. And then the 27th? I don't even know what day that was. Okay, 27th was Thanksgiving. I did write. I wrote 2,124 words. Not as much as I needed to write. By then, I think I needed to write 3,000 words a day. Then the 28th, I wrote 1 word. And so that was the 28th. I did not write anything yesterday. It is November 30th. I don't remember exactly. I think it's like, if I wanted to complete the challenge and hit 50,000, it's 8,000 words and change. So I've made peace with the fact that that is not going to happen. But I think I'm going to take whatever spare moments I have today, the final surge, to write as many words as I can. I guess we're gonna see. I'm gonna be traveling again today. I wonder how everyone else's nano has gone. I'm sure other people got ahead. I'm sure other people weren't behind from the beginning like I was. I will give you more of an update later. Hopefully I get a little bit of writing, even if it's 500 words. Hello everybody. It is December 1st, which means I'm officially ending this vlog. I lost. I failed. I did not win Nano this year. And that's okay. In being out of town and visiting my family, I just kind of had to choose which mattered to me more, to spend time with my family or to spend all of that time working on my story. And ultimately, I was not able to give the attention to the story that the story required. Since I've taken it easy with the writing the last several days, it's actually given me time to sit and think and reassess, and it's actually been helpful. I feel like it's been a lot more helpful taking this break than it was powering through. And it was only in editing this vlog that I was coming to realizations about my story and things that I think will actually make the finale make more sense, make it seem more like there's legitimate payoff. And I don't think I could have come to that realization if I'd been writing the upwards of like 3,000 words a day that I've needed to be writing. I think my story is going to be better for it, and I think I'm feeling better myself in terms of writing and in terms of just living my life. I got to spend time with my family over the holidays, which was great. It was 41,000 something, not the 50,000 I was shooting for, but it is so many more words than I would have written otherwise. I mean, in the grand scope of the draft, I'm in the home stretch. Sure, I only did 41,000 out of 50,000 words, but I hit 100,000 in my draft. I guess I've written at least 110,000 now because I was aiming for 120,000. So if I'm 11 plus 12ths through the way, then I think I'm in a good spot. If you've watched this far and if you've followed my other vlogs, thank you so much for watching. I would love to hear how your nano went, be it whether you won, whether you lost, if you learned anything, if this was your first time doing it, do you think you're gonna do it again? I'm curious. Let me know how yours went. I do have every intention of keeping up writing. I do want to finish the second draft of Project Assassin this month, aka this year in 2025. I have talked about how I wanted to finish Project Hometown, which is another work in progress I have that needs like 10,000 more words to be finished. Another one that I gave up once I hit the finale. I need to work on the finishing of things. And I'll probably make more writing vlogs. I don't know if I'm going to keep doing them weekly or what, I don't know. But I will keep you updated. And you, if you're watching, update me. I would love to know. But I guess that's all. I hope everyone had a great holiday season and, well, great Thanksgiving week moving into the holiday season. Oh my god, I forgot I was wanting to do Vlogmas. Yeah, yeah, right. Yeah, right. Well, actually, I don't know. If I'm gonna do that, I better go do that. Okay. Bye!